All right, everybody. Welcome back to Stinker, Drinker, Thinker. We're three guys. We pour some pours. We make some cocktails, and we rank them in, it's a made-up ranking system that we've developed where we sit here and we tell you if things stink, they drink, or they make you think a little bit. Did I say that in the right order this time?
Close enough.
I think so. I've messed it up quite a few times recently.
I drink so.
I drink so. I am Anthony Longano. I'm joined by my two very handsome co-hosts, one being Troy the Body Viglotti. Troy, please say hello to everybody.
Everybody, greetings.
Thank you for not cutting me off this time. The last couple times we've had an issue that we've had to address off camera.
I wouldn't say so. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say we had an issue.
And then there's Matt McKibble, who is always wearing these awesome shirts. That one looked like a Christmas tree at first, but Matt doesn't celebrate Christmas, nor does he like it or believe in Santa Claus. Matt, what is on your shirt?
Wow, you're ruining everybody's lives.
He you don't believe in it.
Yeah, I believe.
He said that.
I believe.
That's true. I'm a believer. It's a shirt. It's got a bear. I don't know if you can see this. It's got a bear.
You see it on the big camera.
I can't see it.
It's got a bear and it's got the outside. It's my two favorite things.
Oh,
bears and outsides.
I feel like you have a lot of what are they called? Graphic tees?
Graphic tee. Yeah, this is
I'm generally the opposite. Usually, with the exception of the one I'm wearing right now, just like plain colored
All
shirts.
the graphic tees you have liquor on them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
it's not an accident.
Does it say Boybin on it?
Boybin.
And Troy will do the most fucked up things. He'll go to like Evan Williams with a Jack Daniels shirt, and he'll go to Buffalo Trace.
Distillery.
He'll go to Buffalo Trace with a Willet shirt.
Yeah.
And he'll go to Willet with a Four Roses shirt.
You gotta keep them on their toes.
Yeah.
Man.
It's it's community. Support your brands, your friends.
You should just wear Buffalo Trace shirts around too. People say.
But I'm serious. What brand? Like, is that like are they all those graphic tees you have? Are they all the same brand? Or
No,
what?
this is from Into the AM. Is the name of the brand. They have some cool shirts. I got a couple recently. They're very soft.
What is the AM? The morning?
Morning.
Into the morning?
Into the morning. I'm not sure if it's because you're wearing the shirt into the morning or if
I'm going to genuinely embarrass myself right now.
Okay.
And I probably know the answer to this, but I really just can't think of it. What does AM and PM stand for?
You're not gonna embarrass yourself.
You don't know either?
American morning to you. Pacific morning to you.
What does it mean, Troy?
What Matt said.
Thank God I'm not the only idiot.
I could Google it, but it's more fun to make up history.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna be doing today, is making up a lot of history. So
We are. Matt, what are we doing today?
we are gonna talk about a brand from New York, out of Brooklyn, I believe, called Kings County Distillery.
It's pretty sweet. They're like, I think just from what I've seen, they're the largest operating micro distillery in America. As far as output is concerned, and still being classified as a micro or craft distillery or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm thinking microbrewery, craft distillery.
They're watching an interview with him. They're saying everything they said was like, we're going to be a micro distillery, and all their paperwork is like micro distillery, and they're like, oh no, we're actually called a craft distillery. Like, whoops.
Huh. Yeah. So it's the location is really cool. They're in the old Brooklyn Naval Yard, which has a ton of history and a ton of history as it relates to whiskey too, which is kind of really cool. But I think it's called Vinegar Hill, Brooklyn Heights,
Something like that. Yeah.
something like that. But pre-Prohibition, and ironically enough, that whole area, I think. Actually, you know what? On this podcast, we speak in absolutes 100% of the time, and on this episode in particular, 30% of the time we're right, 70% of the time we're wrong. So,
True.
Yeah, all the time, always wrong, 100%. So, pre-Prohibition, obviously you can make whiskey up to a certain amount, and it was taxable, obviously very taxable, right? So there was a lot of distilleries. I think there was 22 distilleries in this area by the Brooklyn Naval Yard there. 22 distilleries that were operating legally, but a lot of them were not. You had to tell the government, hey, we're making this much whiskey a day, but they would make triple that or quadruple that and not tell the government, so they don't have to pay taxes. And that was just straight back then, hundreds of dollars a day in these distillers' pockets. So Ulysses Grant, or whoever was president in 1869, I think it was Grant, found out about it and started sending troops down there. And then there was these battles. It was called the Whiskey Wars, and they would come down there with their fucking muskets and these other things, and they're like, oh, well, I found 240 barrels more than what you told me about, and that's $5,000 worth of whiskey, and they would literally open them and drain them right there in the streets. and $5,000 worth of whiskey. I don't know if you look up, how that works, but in 1869, $5,000 would be $170,000 today in 2023. So that's a lot of money, right? And then they would like start back taxing him, and then all these, they would find stills underground and all this shit. And there was like one of the whiskey wars that came in. By the way, this is how the IRS was found. It was called the BRS, bullshit.
Regiment
service.
Yeah,
whatever. And they would come out in the AM, the anal morning, and they would steal all your whiskey. And they literally, one of the final battles is they essentially wiped out this whiskey area. 21 distilleries that came and drained every single barrel, burnt all of the distilleries to the ground. And at first they were only like taking the stuff that wasn't being taxed, right? And draining those barrels. But like there was like stories written about how like the pebbles were drenched with molasses and the whole air smelled of sour mash and fucking whiskey was falling through the gutters. And I was like, that sounds like heaven. Really? Like, that sounds pretty good if you can lick whiskey off of pebbles. Anyway, Kings County, what was it, 2011, 2012? 2010. So not very long, 13 years at this point. Has been putting out bottles. They come in like these cool little like old style like flask bottles, which I kind of dig, like glass flasks.
Yeah.
It's expensive stuff, guys. It's 375 is $55. That 750 is a limited release, I think you said, but it's probably over 100.
Yeah, it's much more. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean,
I also don't think of like New York. I mean, going into it, it's like, oh, who's in New York? I don't know. I think of Kentucky. I think of Tennessee, but I didn't know that New York. I think they said they have during pre-prohibition, they had more distilleries than all the other states combined, which is insane. Like I had no idea. So they've been doing it a long time, apparently.
Don't tell anyone in Kentucky that because it's not bourbon if it's not made down in Kentucky.
And they were saying a lot of the because of all the taxes and stuff, the distilleries in the bigger cities were harder time kind of getting picked up and kind of getting back to work after Prohibition ended. But the places, because they had to essentially sell everything because the land taxes were so high, they couldn't keep it they couldn't keep all their property with no production because they couldn't make any money. So that's why they sell their land and melt down all their stills and stuff. But the places like in Kentucky that were more like rural, that had just farms, essentially, they could kind of keep on going and keep that going. So when Prohibition ended, they could kind of get up and back running sooner, which is interesting.
Well, it's kind of going back to like Michter's story too. I mean, they were Pennsylvania based, but that's kind of almost the same exact deal with them, especially when they were rebought and stuff like that. But are you saying that American whiskey started in New York and
I don't know
moved
if
to
that's
Kentucky
true.
Because of the bullshit regiment service?
I don't know. The international, not international regiment service. I don't know if that's true. Probably not. But on this podcast, I'm 100% sure.
Exactly right. They have a lot of offerings, and they do like a lot of collaborations with people too. I think Marianne Eaves has done a couple collabs with them. If you guys have ever seen Marianne Eaves' like Eaves Blind thing that she does, which is kind of cool. It's like a blind whiskey service through her website. I think I haven't done it, but a blend that she did with Kings County is there. I would say like one of their most notable ones. They have some interesting products. They have a peated bourbon, which I think we're tapping into tonight. Empire Rye, which is I think the only thing. Is that a barrel strength one that you?
The one I have, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's spot on the bottom. The one you brought, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Though it's over. Wait,
because the rye is 50. The rye is 55%.
Yeah.
So it's a higher proof rye, but it absolutely is delicious. That's the Empire Rye. And then what is the big boy that you brought?
That's their 7-year bottled and bond.
7 year.
That's
okay.
like one of their higher end offerings.
Well, we will be the judge of that.
I
would say I probably don't want to start with the peated.
No, we should end with peated.
And do you want to do the rye first? I mean, I know it's the higher proof, and we usually do rye last.
Realistically, I mean, I don't know how you feel about this, Troy. Realistically, we might want to start with the bourbon.
Yeah, why not?
I just figured, yeah, let's do it.
Why don't you do it?
Yeah. Yep. They also have a quite a few other offerings on there. I think they make a moonshine too, kind of like in tribute to, I guess a lot of that area and things.
They
like
do
that.
make moonshine, yeah. Which is interesting about.
They make a chocolate whiskey.
Oh yeah, I've seen the chocolate.
Yeah.
So if you want to read the tag on the thing, it should tell you all about the front of it and list all the specs and stuff. But Yeah, their bourbon's interesting because there's no rye and no wheat. It's just, I think it has 70% corn, I want to say, and the rest is just malted barley. But we'll see what that actually says.
I mean, I'll take 30% malted barley and
I like malted barley.
No mash bill.
yeah.
Mm.
Wow. Really parched.
What about the? Well, maybe it's the back of the bottle then. We'll look at it after.
Or
maybe.
Literally sitting here dying of
7
thirst.
years old.
There we go. You found it.
No,
Thanks, Trey.
Nope.
it's 7 years old. No mash bill. It's warehouse P, entry proof 117.2, barrel proof 140.5. I got a fill date, a dump date, Angel's share percentage, and a bottle date, but no mash bill, Matt. Okay?
Thanks.
Beautiful.
I'm literally rippling like I've been
Don't care.
sitting in water for hours.
Maybe if somebody took the plastic off, I'd be a little quicker.
No.
I'm not complaining about you.
Oh.
Yeah, I've literally been sitting here making fun of Matt for 5 minutes, Troy. You've just been getting slowly more and more aggravated that the plastic's on the bottle.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it.
I am not happy about this.
Here, Troy, have some whiskey. Why don't we rip the plastic off it for you, too? It's your one job. Oh, my God.
God.
That's good.
Is your arm okay?
It's making up for the other two that
Screw
don't have
caps.
corks.
Yeah. Wow.
You're like ripped your arm off, dude.
That was fucking violent. Oh, my God.
That movie Violent Night. Oh, yeah. So, in case anyone's curious, this is just a random bottle I found actually at Justin's House of Bourbon. And I think it was like a little over 200. And I think MSRP is like 185 or something like that. But it's the last one they had. And I said, sure, why not? I like wasting my money. Let's give it a try.
It's a cool bottle to have.
I guess so. I asked the guy, I was like, hey, so what's the story with this? He's like, I have no idea. I've never seen this before. I go, okay, cool. Thanks. This is it's I mean, it's bottled bond. It has to be 100 proof, right? So smells pretty dense.
It smells good.
Yeah.
I've liked everything I've tried from them. And you can see what I've tried from them because it's right there. I mean, the Empire Rye. Is the rye closer to you? Is that what's...
Maybe.
I had a couple good pours out of that and spent some time with it.
This is the Peated Bourbon.
Okay. Me and Troy tried the Peated Bourbon one time. Oh, actually, no.
Peated Bourbon?
Was that you and me that tried that? It could be one of our... I think it was at one of our after parties, one of our podcast after parties that we have banned.
Peated bourbon. Yeah, I don't think so, man.
I could have done that with Alden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, they actually listed 80% corn, New York corn, 20% English malt. They actually do say it. There you go.
It's got like this beautiful, like soft vanilla undertone that's really...
English malted barley?
Yeah.
So no rye.
No rye, no wheat. 2 grains. 2 grains in the truth. That's all you need. It's very dense. I think that's just because there's so much barley in it. But you still got a little bit of like the cherry, cinnamon, brown sugaries. But definitely thick.
Yeah, vanilla, oak char, obviously some dark sugars in there. It's absolutely delicious. Tastes way older than it is.
It is interestingly where it's thick up front, but then it does kind of like almost like tapers out pretty quickly as far as the finish. It lingers, but it actually gets a lot thinner pretty quickly.
It's got like that bitter barrel char thing on the finish too. I really like this a lot.
Not bad.
I think it's drier on the palate than I expect it to be when I'm smelling it.
Where there's barrel, there must be tannins.
Where there's bowels, there must be taints.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good, huh?
It's not as complex as some American single malts that I've had because obviously it's not a single malt, but it has the barley component, and it's not as traditional as like most Kentucky bourbons that I've had. It's like somewhere in the middle, and I think it's got good aspects from both camps.
It is kind of a pleasing amalgamation of the two.
Yeah.
I feel like it's missing like that earthiness that you get with Kentucky stuff. Like kind of like that grassy kind of thing that you have in some of like the staple ones down there.
A lot of them have rye.
Yeah.
That's probably true. Yeah. I'm totally okay with this not having rye. Honestly, I think it makes it probably a little bit smoother. Maybe, maybe not as sweet, but it's like absolutely. So it's impressive. When I say it's impressive, I don't think like, oh my gosh, like this is $200 impressive. I don't think it's $200 impressive, but I'm impressed by this.
Yeah. For
it being, you know, a craft distillery. Sorry, micro distillery.
No, craft. You're right. You're right.
Fuck. For being a craft distillery, I mean, you know, yeah. Oh, and to me, it just tastes older than 7 years old too. I don't really know if it's obviously a climate thing, but yeah, I think it tastes really good. I enjoy it. I could definitely have a little slugfest if this was not $200. I think I would have a slugfest with it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call it a drinker, I think.
Okay. Yeah, their barrel proof bourbon is their number. Like, there's like their most sought after whiskey in general. So I mean, if this is any indication, I've never tried. I don't think I've tried any of their other products at this point. Maybe one, but if it's an indication, it fares well. So
it's funny that they don't put rye in their bourbon, but they make a rye.
Yeah. Got to make a rye. I wonder if it's. They mentioned something about malted. You know if it's malted rye in there?
I could check.
I'll have to look.
Yeah, they do a lot of blends too. So maybe they like do a blend with their ryes and their bourbons. Anyway, Troy, what's your thoughts on it?
I believe it to be a nice, smooth, good balanced whiskey. I'm fine with there not being rye in it. I like single malt whiskey. I like bourbon and corn. So I think it's a pleasurable convolution. I'd call it a drinker.
Were you confused about your choice of words there for a second?
Yeah, it's fine.
Were you convoluted about your words? Did I use that word right? No. I'm not being an asshole. I'm curious.
I don't even know.
Oh,
your words were convoluted. I don't know. But their note I just saw was brandied cherries. That was their tasting note.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
Can get that. Do I go? I don't know if it's to the level of being a drinker thinker or if it's just a drinker.
Did you not rate it?
Mm-mm.
He did not.
Is that why?
I did not.
Why what?
I just thought I was getting the stare there for a second.
You're getting
like
the stare
I was doing
now.
something wrong. Sorry.
Cut me off. No.
Like I forgot something.
I will probably also go drinker. Not to just rehash everyone with this said, but I agree. I don't think it's quite enough to be a thinker. I also don't think, I say this about almost every single bottle that I've ever paid over $100 for. I don't think it's necessarily worth the price. Yet I can still continue to do it, so whatever. But I think it's very good. I think being their first one, the serious one that I've had from them, I think it's pretty awesome. I have really no complaints about it at all.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of expect that price for a company like this or distillery like this, but
yeah.
Hey, you know what we should do? Episode idea. We should do an episode of bottles over $100 that Matt appreciates.
There's
no episode?
One bottle.
No, I don't know. There's
besides Redbreast.
3.
Oh,
there's 3. We can make an episode about that.
We already did the Redbreast on here though.
I know.
There's only 3 bottles over $100 that you like.
That I really like.
That you said, this was worth the money.
Yeah.
Which ones?
Heaven Hill 17, Redbreast 27, Glenmorangie Signet.
I'll do the Signet on an episode. That was a good bottle.
I don't know if...
Dude, they have those at Meijer.
Really?
Yeah, like in the case down south.
Oh, that's kind
of... Or no, at the Kroger. At the Kroger on Scotts Road. Yeah, anyway.
I'd buy... I'm about due for one, so... Yeah, I mean, I guess Redbreast 21, you technically would be in that line, but yeah.
No bottle over $100 besides those?
I'd have to think. I'd have to go through everything and think about it. But
you have 400 bottles of whiskey. You can't think of one besides those 3 that you spent north of $300 each on. You can't think of one bottle in between $100 and $150 that you thought was worth it.
Really worth it? No. I can go back and look.
Give me the midwinters. I will make it worth your money.
Moving on. Do you want to do the rye or the peated next?
Troy, I'll let you call.
What's the alcohol content of the peated?
I think it's 45, and then the rye is 55.
Yeah, we could do the rye.
No, you pick. Absolutely. Let's do the peated.
I'm curious.
All right.
Do you remember how peated it was?
It was slightly peated.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, and I'm not a big
Really?
peat guy. Yeah. I mean, it does leave like that ashtray type of taste.
Yeah.
In mouthfeel, right? But want to just hop into it?
Yeah.
All right. I even put extra crackers out tonight. Peated bourbon. The original peated bourbon, aged 1 year or more. That's kind of. This is batch number 15 of it. Aged 1 year or more. That's kind of scary.
Or more though. It could be. It could be.
Or.
It could be 10 years. We don't know.
No bottle pop. You want me to just pour?
I actually, yeah, you could pour.
Okay. You want me to put the cap back on when I'm done though?
Yeah, I do want to see that bottle.
So, 90 proof. I'm reading. I'm assuming this is the same as the bottle we have. 90 proof. This is at least 2 years. Malted barley that's been exposed to peat smoke, obviously, and that's all it says about it. So, all right. Yeah, there's really honestly.
Wait, what's grown in Scotland?
The barley.
Barley.
Yeah, they do. I mean, even on their website, they say they take a
Well,
lot
I guess
of
the other one
Scottish
used
roots.
English. Used
Yeah.
English malt. So I guess it does make sense. Lower peat mash bill, 12.5% peated barley, and then wait, what is this? Oh, peated bourbon number 6. Oh, their peated bourbon has 25% peated barley. Okay,
The rest is corn.
doesn't say. That'd be my guess. If it's a bourbon, it would have to. I mean,
It has to be corn. Yeah.
we know everything on this podcast. We're really good at knowing our facts before we get and record.
We're just a bunch of idiots besides Troy who buys whiskey and drink.
I'm an idiot. It's fine.
Oh,
But you're a smart idiot.
you don't have to sell.
No. For bourbon to the age designation for like a minimum of 2 years for it to be in some way, shape, or form bourbon.
Straight bourbon.
Straight bourbon.
Straight
That's,
bourbon.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought. I just wanted to make sure.
The bottle
Okay.
and bottom has to be 4 years.
One
Bottle
second.
bond has to be 4 years.
Yeah, 1 second could be bourbon.
Yeah.
Straight bourbon is different. Bottled bond is different.
Yeah,
See,
you
that's
could
the part
put
that
it
I
in an
didn't
oak
know.
barrel, walk away, take a piss, come back, and take it out, and it's bourbon.
Yep. As long as it meets the other.
Yeah.
I mean,
I really like that.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, then there's people doing like, what is it called? You rush the aging.
Oh, Solera aging? No.
Oh my gosh, what is it called?
Sous vide bourbon. You could sous vide.
No, it's not. It's like hyper aging, like when you age it really quickly, but like in.
Environmentally controlled. Like,
No, all right.
forget it. We're done. This is why we suck at this, guys. Thank you for listening
I'm
and subscribing.
I'm
Hit
at the edge of my
subscribe button.
seat here because I have no idea what you're talking
So
about.
look
okay,
like you're
so
sitting
there's a
back.
whole movement right now where you're trying to get an aged bourbon product without actually aging bourbon, which is
Like oak chips or
either oak chips or some sort of scientific
where were we
method.
Talking, where are we talking?
You can
about
like
this with?
pressurize it with oak chip. There's a lot of different things you can do. And so I totally forgot the term. I literally was talking about this an hour ago, and I totally forget.
I think we talked about it on an episode last month or
Well,
something.
we were talking about in reference to the honey the honey episode with Garrison Brothers. But this is like actually like hyper aging whiskey essentially. Different thing. Anyway,
cheating.
yeah,
Yeah.
cheating.
I like how on here they're like 1 year or more. Fuck around and find out. You know, I don't know. Just I don't know. You know the batch number. Like
I mean,
Eh.
color's
Don't
nice.
Don't reprint labels.
the color is beautiful. I mean, I'm definitely going to say it's more than 1 year, but
It is. It smells like a hint of a mildewy bathtub,
it smells like a young whiskey first and
Yeah.
foremost. Like you can kind of
but with the peat, it adds that like mildewy.
It really just smells like immature grains. I don't know, like or like there was a whiskey we did last week. In last week's episode, I forgot what it was, but it was instead of like it really being like a thin milled grain, it sounded like it was more like a chunky or chippier type of. I don't know. It's got like this wood chip, cedar chip type of vibe to it. The taste is completely different than the nose. I actually really thoroughly enjoy the nose a lot.
Really, I like. Man, yeah.
It's like that young, woody, fresh cut cedar type of thing mixed with like some cherries in there. You don't get any of the peat on the nose at all, which
Really?
I kind of dig about that.
I get it ever so faintly.
Yeah.
It's there.
It's that, like I said, that something's been wet for a little while, like a wet carpet.
The taste is kind of like you got smoker's cough and you just took a bunch of Dynatap.
It's honestly less impressive than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's like
I thought it was gonna be
grapey
a
and
little more
medicinal.
bold.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, this is peated, but like
It's only 25% of the it's peated barley, which only makes up 25% of the mash bill, and the rest of it is all, it's not like peated,
yeah, it's not single malt.
Right.
If you don't, I'm not a big peat fan. Sorry, Pete out there.
Yeah, Pete.
Sorry, Pete and Pete. But this almost tastes like you gotta tell me this is peated because I don't know if I believe you.
To me, I get it on the the mouthfeel is where I get it.
Yeah, it's
at the end.
thicker.
Yeah, it's like ashy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
it's not. It doesn't suck, but it's not overly impressive.
I'm just gonna say, it's fine. It's an interesting entryway if you want to experience a hint of peat without knowing if you like peat.
Hint of peat.
Hint of peat. Give it a try.
I'd be curious to see once they you got to imagine. I don't know how long they've been doing this bottle, but got to imagine they're gonna have some older stock of stuff, older barrels of this, and I wonder how that would go.
They could. I mean,
I think there's other people who make peated bourbon too that we've had together. I feel like didn't we do something peated on here? That wasn't Scotch.
Campfire.
That's mixed with Scotch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the High West Campfire.
Virginia does blends of scotches.
Didn't we do a Westland?
That was a peated single malt. I thought we did a peated bourbon.
There might be.
Yeah,
I
don't
don't remember ever having a peated bourbon before.
We've drank so much on here that we remember barely any of it.
Yeah, but we
anyway.
don't drink hardly anything peated.
That's true. Me and Matt did open up that Basil Hayden's subtle smoke, which is not
suddenly
peated.
Smoked.
It's they take the bung off the barrel and they pump smoke into it, and then they put the bung back on the barrel and walk away.
Well, I'll tell you.
You had it?
Yeah, it's over there. I mean, we
What'd you think?
I don't remember. We were playing whiskey ring toss, and
was all right.
Yeah, it was okay.
It is interesting. If you type in peated bourbon into Google, pretty much the only thing that comes up is King County.
Yeah,
I feel
like it's an opportunity missed here.
There's
because of how young this is.
A J. Riddle one I've never heard of, but pretty much everything else is Kings County. Interesting.
I mean, half that bottle's gone, so I feel like maybe I must have drank.
There's an Opidon. I don't know. Broken Barrel mix. There's a couple, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So
it's not bad. I think it's a cool concept. I think it's poorly done. Like not poorly done.
No.
I think there's potential. I would say.
Yeah. I would say this is. It tastes. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, what would you like more of?
Age. Maybe rye. Honestly, you can see it maybe brighten it up a little bit.
I would think it'd be. I mean, if this is what we're making, we're gonna age this up. I think it'd be cool. I think I actually surprisingly would want just a touch more peat. Maybe a little more interesting.
Just to know that it's peated.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind a touch more peat, and I also wouldn't mind the idea of it just being a single malt.
In general,
they make a single malt.
Yeah, 100%.
Do they?
They make it. I think they might make a peated single malt, but I know they make a single malt. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know, man. I actually really, like I said before, I enjoy the nose. I'm not a huge fan of the taste. It's got like this purple syrupy, like if you ever asked for liquid flavored antibiotics when you were a kid, and it's got like the chunky medicine at the bottom of it.
Ooh.
Like for some reason, it's just triggering that for me. And there was times where I couldn't swallow pills well, so it just kind of hit me there. It's got like this weird gasoline thing around it. But again, I don't really mind it.
Yeah.
This is not the first time I've drank it, so apparently it's good enough for me to. I advocated to do this on here.
That's true. You wanted to do
Yeah. So
it is funny looking at a 375 how much is already gone.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
I mean, it's 12 ounces.
Yeah.
Like I kind of wonder. And here's the potential. I just kind of wonder if it was 4 years, maybe minimum, 4 years at minimum. Some sort of rye content to add some sweetness in there to kind of make up for that smoke, and then maybe a touch more peat or more of a heavily peated barley. I wonder if could you peat corn?
Could you? I mean, probably.
Pete, can you corn?
I don't know.
Corn.
I'm sure it's been done.
Pete corn, and I don't care. Sorry.
What are you rating it?
I mean,
we're going off the rails here tonight.
I don't know, man. Are we really? Like, we're having a conversation.
No, I know.
It's a podcast.
I know.
Are we supposed to talk in a podcast or stick to a formula? We're going to talk. All right?
You're not allowed to talk on this podcast.
Oh man, I'm glad Troy's finally opening up. Troy told me he was going to be here at 8 o'clock on the dot, and he showed up at 8:03. And I looked at him when he walked in, and he walked right the fuck out. And he left, and he was tense ever since. I'm glad. Glad Pete.
I wasn't tense.
I'm glad Pete could open you up, man.
Because you looked at your watch, and I looked at you, and it was my way of joking around and saying,
I know I'm late, and I don't care.
"Yeah, if I can't be late, I
No
can't
one
be
can.
here."
Pete smokes corn, and he don't. I don't know, man. I think it's a stinker potential drinker.
That's not a ranking.
Thinking of potential drinker? Is it just a drinker stinker?
It's a stinker with potential to be a drinker.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
A
Yeah.
stinker
So it's
with
a stinker.
potential. So it's a stinker.
Yeah, I mean, but it's right on the cusp.
I don't think it's stinky. I think it's drinky. I'm going drinker.
Same. I got nothing against it. I would like more out of it, but
Just because it could be better doesn't mean it's bad, I think. I think that's where I'm
that is
going.
that is
Yeah.
the saying.
Man, I just keep tasting medicine. I think that's a
fair.
personal thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Childhood trauma.
that's two. That's going in the infinite drinker. Why don't we pop them in there? Take a cracker break, cleanse our palate a little bit from the ash, and then get into the rye.
After this, cracker break. And welcome back to from Cracker Break, brought to you by Yeasty Boy Bread Company. Those people make great crackers. Troy, I know you're enjoying some crackers.
Very good.
On the
Very
break.
very good.
You can find them at farmers markets everywhere starting in February. We're taking January off at the Parkview YLNI Market. So check them out. And I believe this break is brought to you by Anthony's Joke.
I have a joke for each of you, and then one that my wife submitted. 3 jokes, 3 sentences, 3 jokes. Matt,
Yes.
what is the difference
Mhm.
between a golf ball and a G-spot?
Ooh. Golf balls are easier to hit.
Men will actually search for a golf ball.
Ah.
Got Troy to giggle. Troy, what did one butt cheek say to the other?
I don't know.
Squeeze together. Together we can stop this shit. Anyway, I'm trying to be as corny as Matt
That's
here.
pretty
Yeah.
good. That's pretty good.
And then the one my wife sent me was a TikTok of a toddler. Why are boys' farts louder than girls? Troy,
I don't know.
because they have 2 speakers and a microphone. Imagine a 6-year-old saying that and then laughing like Brooklyn. Come on, nothing?
It's pretty good.
You know what? Listen, Matt.
You know, it's harder than you think, man, to get Troy to laugh.
Well, I just looked him up 3 seconds ago.
Just saying.
Give me a week.
Okay.
Next week, Troy, I'm going to make you shit in the chair.
All right.
Shit where you
Just-
sit. That's the new challenge, everybody. Submit jokes to stinkerdrinkerthinker.com. You make Troy shit where he sits. Matt will send you every bottle in his collection.
Every single bottle.
You pay freight.
You pay freight of $75,000. Anyway, what do we got next?
This is their Empire Rye. I feel like I've seen this bottle more than I've seen anything else of theirs. And it's good. 51%. I said 55 before. 51%. So still the hottest one. Same bottle and everything. It's got a nice little... Can't really see it. Maybe. Maybe you can see it.
Helps your face.
Nice little stamp right here. This is batch number 4. Aged 2 years or more. Which is honestly not uncommon for rye, but like it's got a pretty good color to it. What you got on it?
This is 80% New York grown Danko rye and 20% English malted barley. Whew, that's a pour.
Help me out here, bud. Drink it, you.
Alex, you think I'll drink?
Of course, like, I grew up in New Jersey, so I could say this. I worked in New York, went to school in New York. I could say this. Of course, New York would have a rye called Danko. Can you just hear the, hey! You been down to Kings County, had some of that fucking Danko rye, huh? Where's the Danko at? Tori! You know?
Sorry to all the people using headphones.
We got a limiter built in. It sounds like
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, you're gonna need that for the cracker breaks anyway. Sorry. We'll get it later.
Capcom. I'll
Yeah,
just drink out of
on
this.
the ground.
That's fine.
It's on the ground. We'll get it later. Well, off to a good start. It smells more not minty. A little bit, but not too bad. Off to a good start.
I'm getting more like toffee and butterscotch and caramel.
There
of
is specifically spearmint. Maybe wintergreen. But I think you guys said COVID enough where you can't smell it anyway.
I truly cannot smell it if there is.
Yeah.
And I used to point that out to Troy all the time.
There. Yeah.
I'm going to have to try like that Clyde Mays rye. Because that's like the mintiest shit ever.
Really? Yeah, man. Problem is now I'm thinking about it, but we'll see.
Just getting
Try thinking about the whiskey.
I did. I thought about the whiskey at first. I was like, this is nice. And then the mint just snuck up on me, and that's all I could smell.
They got to use high char levels, other barrels, because I'm getting a ton of that.
Think so?
And the color for 2 years is dark.
I don't know. We'll have to go to New York. Welcome to New York. All right, I'm just going to dive
Popcorn,
in.
buttery burnt popcorn. Like,
That you sprinkled fresh mint on? Yeah.
I don't get any mint.
I wish.
Do you get any mint?
It's so sad that neither of you can
Hardly.
smell mint now.
No. I've been the same. I didn't have COVID.
I know, but you said you were mint deficient.
You had COVID a year and a half ago.
Yeah, but maybe I was always that way.
I mean, we talked about that.
Yeah.
You said you're mint deficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, I think I've been getting better
Okay.
the more rye I drink, but
Yeah.
still I don't get a slap in the face of it, generally speaking.
I'm generally curious to see if you get a slap in the face on the palate.
I'll have to try. Yeah, I just got like a cinnamon red hot a little bit. Ooh, whoa, a little bit, but it's more like tangerine, specifically tangerine, like a fresh orange juice or like a sangria, like a white sangria.
I mean, I get a little hint of mint there. Try to say that fast.
Intimate.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Getting intimate with the hint of mint. I get a little bit of it there. That's why I was curious to see if you thought it was really prominent. But
No, I get so
can
much
taste a
more.
little bit of it.
That's good.
Do you get tangerine?
right?
Am I crazy? Tangerine and sangria? I mean, I know I'm probably out in the weeds here.
I've
but-
never had tangerine sangria, Matt.
No, tangerine and sangria. It's like if you made like a tangerine mojito.
I don't drink mojitos either. Got a
Neither,
mojito
but
story,
I have.
But I think you've spent a lot of time at brunches, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. It's pretty unique.
Yeah. I can see what you're saying. I really can.
It's not quite.
I get honey and citrus. Yeah, I get honey and citrus.
I can get on the honey train.
Yeah.
It's
nice.
It is nice.
Oh, the spice is beautiful.
It's very refreshing.
Yeah.
I don't really like. I really enjoy it, and then at the end, I'm like, do I like it though? And then I go back for more. I'm like, I really like it again.
I'm almost positive this is the one that I bought for New Year's Eve 2020.
The year you were walking around with that 47-year-old bottle of champagne that no one liked, and you were drinking that by yourself.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I didn't know anybody.
Yeah, it was his first year here.
Yeah.
That was 2019.
Oh, going into 2020.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
At Ryan Holka's house. That was fun.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Is your friend Troy okay?" He's like, "He's fine. He's just socially awkward and he's wasted." He's just drinking
precisely
375. Dude, I'm almost positive that's exactly what you had.
I'm pretty positive.
Yeah.
Was it bring good memories or bad memories?
I mean, I had fun.
Yeah.
I remember talking to Jared actually that night.
You talked to Ryan. Talked to you quite a
yeah,
bit too.
yeah, I probably did. And Jen, yeah. No, it wasn't that bad, but
I mean, you had just moved like 4 months earlier from a new town, and this was like the first time we went to like a party.
yeah, pretty
and
much.
there was like 100 people there.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, lots of I'm still getting popcorn. Like I get like a burnt popcorn thing, honey, lots of oak. I really like barrel char. I get a lot of it. The nose has got more of that toffee butterscotch type of thing, but the palate really kind of brightens up. There's some sort of citrus thing there. I don't know if it's tangerine for me.
It's specifically tangerine.
Good for you. I know you've been, thinking about a new career path. Why don't you just be a professional dumbass taster?
I actually think it's
I wish.
I think it's clementine.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm just
Clementine.
Yeah, you know what you should do, Matt? You should go work for like Peanut Butter Whiskey. What's that company called?
Screwball.
Screwball, and be their fucking tasting notes specialist.
This tastes like
Yeah, go screwball yourself.
Jif extra crunchy. Yes, the shell of an Jif extra crunchy.
This tastes like Jif if it was maybe tainted by a tangerine covered in just the shell of a cashew.
I like Clementine because it has more of the white stringiness into it, and so you get a little bit more of that bitterness from the barrel char. I like the Clementine. It's good.
The honeysuckle, it's like a honeysuckle type of thing at the bottom. Like you're walking through the forest, you pick up a honeysuckle, and you suck the shit out of it. You know,
That's why it's called honeysuckle.
because you suck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's why it's called that. I mean,
And they're delicious.
factual.
I don't know if have you ever sucked on one?
not on a honeysuckle, no. Just honeycomb.
Oh, what have you sucked on? If
Honeycomb.
I've never.
Fresh honeycomb?
No, I never had it.
Oh boy, you're in for a treat.
You're
I'll
gonna
buy
bring me
you some.
one, please? Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I've never done it either.
Oh my god, really?
Where do you get it?
Anywhere. They have farmers market.
Oh, do you mean like already in the jars though?
No, like it comes in a square or rectangular
They're
box.
bees?
Yeah.
They cut out a piece of comb, and put it in a box.
Is there bees in it?
Oh.
No.
What do they do with the bees?
Sorry. Yes.
Get them away.
Yeah.
I think you had it at my house.
No, sorry. I thought it was like, I don't know how to explain what I'm thinking.
We're
but
all really dumb tonight,
yeah.
apparently.
I'm a little tired.
Yeah.
That's all right.
But yeah, like a little plastic rectangular box.
Yeah, with honeycomb.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
the full comb.
Yeah, I guess I didn't.
How much are they?
Depends on the size of the box. $10-$20 depending. They're phenomenally good. Yeah.
Bring me one. I'll pay you.
Okay.
I'll eat it. Then maybe I'll go buy another one and make a batch of Amaro with it. It's kind of
they're-
be fantastic.
Yeah. The local guy we have here, there's two. One is legit and actually is the beekeeper, and he's super good. And the other one gets their honey imported, and he's kind of baloney. So
Baloney.
baloney.
Yeah.
It's good on cheese boards.
Oh yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. It's just because so you need a wooden knife too, because it doesn't damage the comb as much.
Huh.
A little wooden knife. That's pretty cool.
I started batching I'm doing like seasonal batches, and I wanted to do something like, you know, that time of year, like February, March, like mid-March, where like, especially if you're in like a rural or farmy, like tree-y type of area, like where it's like cold enough that it's still like brisk, but you can start smelling the earth and the plants growing back in, kind of like a morning dew with like pine tree type of woodsy. And I put some rhubarb root in there too, so it's gonna be like the Smoky Mountain Forest Amaro. And I can't fucking wait because it smells absolutely fucking delicious. And all the other Amaro I've made so far really is bad. So I'm it's not bad, but it's like it's missing quite a bit of an herbaceous thing, and I have a lot of herbs. I'm happy.
All right.
Filled it with marijuana. And no, I haven't.
Yum.
But I can see some honeycomb going in there or something like that. Some sap. Do you have any sap? You have any sap?
I got some hookups for sap if you want some.
Ooh, it's kind of gross.
Back in New Hampshire, everything's sap. Well, I am just going to go ahead and say it is a thinker. Almost a stinker. I'm going thinker.
Wow.
It's good.
It's on the verge.
Why?
It does have some finish that I don't necessarily like, but I love the citrusy. It's very unique. And I really admire that. I think that's great. I don't think I could drink a lot of it, but I do like the couple sips I have of it. So.
Guys, in a few months, we're gonna do our blind whiskey madness brackets, and you notice a couple things about Matt. When he tastes something that he paid for that is expensive, just fine. If he knows what it is. If he tastes rye, it's always like,
Nah, that's okay. It's fine. I don't really like it.
true.
It's probably a stinker.
guarantee you, I could pour 16 fucking $5 million ryes, and Matt would love all of them. I could pour a $4 rye, blind taste it, and Matt would think it's the best bourbon he's ever
I
had.
don't think that's true.
Okay.
We'll find out.
We're going to find out in March.
Stay tuned in March. Coming at you.
We're going to do a thing, too, where maybe you guys can submit for whiskeys for that, too. Maybe we'll have some user submissions. But, yeah, Troy, what do you got on this one, man?
I'm gonna call it a drinker thinker. There's no doubt that I could drink it. History has proven that. But I really like it a lot. I think it's easily my favorite one out of these three. I don't know. Sometimes I try and tell myself I don't prefer rye, and sometimes I have a hard time convincing myself that that's actually true.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, but it's got some complexity to it. I don't know if it's more or less complex than like any other rye from wherever, but I think it's good.
I don't know complexity, but definitely uniqueness.
Yeah,
It's more unique than most ryes I've had.
yeah.
I'm like you, man. I go back and forth with rye. There was a while, especially when we first started doing this, I thought like I'm a rye guy. Like I love rye.
Yeah.
And then like there was a 6-month period this year where I just couldn't palate it.
So that I've never been there.
Yeah. Like literally up until maybe end of November, early December, I just couldn't. I just wasn't anything we drank. You know, I don't know, but there's a couple obviously really good ones. I think now it's at the point where, like, and I think this might be what's so impressive about this too is it's a a micro distillery making a rye. A lot of times when you, thank you, craft brewery, micro distillery, but a lot of shut up, shut the fuck up. My God, why is he so annoying? It's okay. It drives me crazy.
Fucking got him. Go ahead.
I almost missed you today. He only called me once at work. I thought he was dead. Anyway, but like you know, some of these younger places that don't really have too much skin in the game. Like you try their stuff, or like even if it's source stuff, like it's not. You know, obviously the source stuff is one recipe, right? But like, I don't know. Everyone does a rye, especially when they're putting their own product in a bottle. It's got to be well done, or it's either great or it sucks. And I think I'm at that point. It's either it's great or it sucks. Like, yeah, there's mediocre rye. Like Sazerac rye is mediocre rye. Doesn't suck. I'm never gonna drink it ever. Like, it's there. I use it to make Sazeracs because people think it's, oh my God, I'm getting a real Sazerac with whiskey from New Orleans. No, it's from Buffalo Trace. Like. There's a Sazerac museum in New Orleans. That's anyway. Long story short, I don't know. This is an all day drinker for me. I absolutely enjoy it every time I touch it. There's definitely some stuff to think about too. So I'll put a drinker thinker on there. There's also like Troy. I don't know if you get this or not, but like Matt said he didn't like the finish. There's like a beautiful floral kind of aftertaste. It kind of reminds me of like some sort of like botanical garden or like maybe even like a gin type of thing. Maybe like a I don't know. It's weird.
Is it reminding you of juniper? Or?
Very much so, yes. Pink and purple flowers. And
I do get floral component.
Maybe just like a little bit of like a juniper berry, freshly. What's that?
Pressed? No.
Pestled?
Crushed? Oh, mortar and pestle?
Yeah.
It's good.
You hate it.
I never said I hated it.
You called it a stinker.
I said a thinker.
Maybe bordering a stinker.
Well, I was gonna make it a thinker stinker, but I kept
It's all right.
a thinker.
It's good. It's going in.
Yeah, it's going in.
The infinite drinker.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm going to dump the whole thing in there because Troy lost the cap. It's in the whiskey abyss. Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. That was this stuff's expensive. I will say that.
Per ounce.
Per ounce, it's
Yeah.
expensive. I think it's delicious. I think it looks nice on a shelf. Yeah. I'd try more and I'd buy more, I think.
I would say, yeah. I mean, I'm more inclined to pick up a Kings County thing when I see it now. So I think overall, good showing.
Yes.
Yes.
I do say.
Yes. Well, we have some cocktail doctors coming up, I think.
I hope. I'll try not to give too much away, but I know we've been saying we're going to do these cocktail doctors and some cocktails on here, but we might have a little bit more than that in store for you. If a certain one of us can make up their mind about a certain couple of things.
It's Troy.
It's always Troy.
Wait, what?
No, we're just kidding.
It's Matt.
Nothing to do with you.
Yeah, it's Matt, but you're just the fall guy.
God damn it.
Just
Am I
dropping
missing
caps
something
and
here?
falling asleep. Fucking late. Anyway, where, everything is a lot easier. Let's put it that way. And we think it would be nice to kick off that with those cocktail doctor episodes and obviously a couple other things too. But so we're not just like, you know what, maybe we'll never do that. We're gonna do them. In the meantime, it was a pleasure drinking this fine whiskey with you beautiful young men.
Yes, indeed.
Hopefully, oh man, hopefully the Giants are going to the NFC Championship game this week.
Hopefully they're winning the Super Bowl this week.
No, this is the NFC Championship game.
Oh, depending on when we put this out, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they're going to the NFC Championship game because we're filming this before Wild Card Weekend. So hopefully they are. And I think they have a good chance of doing so. We'll knock on some, I think this is fake wood, but we'll knock on it. It's real wood all the way over there.
The boards are real wood.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
knock on this there.
Yeah. Okay. And then, I mean, obviously, if this is the case, I think the next episode we have to do is our Super Bowl episode. But we don't know who's in the
Cocktail
Super Bowl.
Doctors and then, well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see when this comes out. Who knows? Forget about it.
Does anyone have anything else they'd like to say?
Yeah. No.
What do you got, Troy?
There's only one thing Troy could say right now.
Are you pressuring me?
No, there's only one thing
It's not a saying. It's
Troy
an
can say.
act.
right now.
Oh, well, I was going to do it on my own terms.
Oh. Your own man, Troy.
Now I'm going to tell a fucking story. Real
Please,
long one.
please do. Please,
Do
for the
it.
love of God, tell a story, Troy. I want to, please. I'll crack something. You want to crack something?
Once upon a time, there was a man on top of a big hill, and he was all alone. Nobody in sight, nothing in sight. And he wanted to bellow as loud as he could.
Why didn't you just do it then?
Because I'm fucking prolonging this. Because you were trying to force me to do it when I wasn't ready.
Oh, I thought you were telling a story. I was invested in this character.
Right. I almost started tearing up for a second. I was like, man, this poor fucking guy
is it
stuck on a
mute?
hill with
Yeah.
nothing and no one.
Like,
And he just wants to bellow out, I'm alone!
I really felt for this character.
Fucking crying. Troy, lead us out.
Yo.